Hello, welcome to myviolinrecital.com. My name's Diane Allen and I'm the website's creator. Today we're going to talk about how long to practice. This question is probably the most frequently asked question when it comes to studying a musical instrument. My stock answer is, however long your lesson is, that's how long you practice. And you need to practice 5, 6, or 7 days a week. For example, if you have a 30-minute lesson, you should practice daily for 30 minutes, and you need to practice 5, 6, or 7 days a week. Now, that's my generic stock answer for anybody who asks this question, but everybody's different, so modifications need to be made depending on what you're like and what your practice habits are like. However, my experience is that the amount of days per week is probably where we need to start. That's the most crucial. If you're practicing 1 or 2 days a week, your playing will probably deteriorate. If you're practicing 3 or 4 days a week, you maintain what you've achieved at this point so far in your practicing career. And if you're practicing 5, 6, or 7 days a week, you'll most likely progress. The violin in particular is a high maintenance instrument. It takes a lot of daily work just to keep your playing at a level, and at a level that you'll feel like you're continually improving. Now, we can always change these rules depending on the student and their needs, but I'm not going to be able to go into that because everyone's different. So my stock answer once again is however long your lesson is, that's how long you practice, and for 5, 6, or 7 days a week. I have all sorts of variations within my studio. I have one family that calls it daily doubles, and so they'll practice twice a day, and so that student, if she had a 30-minute lesson, would practice 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the evening, doubling up, which is great. Anyways, the more serious high school kids might be practicing hours and hours and hours, far more than their lesson. So it depends on your dedication level and how competitive you are. There's so many variables. What I'd like to do is go over some practice sheets that you'll be able to find on my blog. This one is great for little kids who might have maybe a 15-minute lesson, and it's a game chart. And what you do is you put in this top corner, start, finish, and then in each of these boxes you might put something like do 5 bow hands, clap pepperoni pizza 3 times, or whatever you call it, Mississippi stop stop. In each one of these boxes you'll have a different activity. It could be stand and rest position, it could be listen to your CD, anything. And so what you'll do is you can get some little coins or whatever you want, a bead or some little Lego dude, and you'll put it on the square, you'll roll the dice, and you'll make your way around the board, and whatever you land on is what you do. And this is great fun for little kids to get started in practicing. The next sheet I have is based on the Suzuki model. I don't know if you can see it from here, but what we have here, you can download this on the blog as well. Lesson date, ongoing listening, and ongoing ear training. So any assignments you have are written next to those. In this box it says technique. So for example, if your teacher would like you to work on where you put your head on the violin, that would be a technique. Maybe that was a particular teaching point that you learned on that at your last lesson. So you might fill that technique out here, and each time you do it you would check off these boxes, or 7 boxes for 7 days of the week. The next is tonalization, and you'll find each teacher has their own kind of tonalization exercise, but you'll fill in your tonalization practice here. And then once again, the student can fill it in, draw a little picture, or put a sticker in each of these boxes for each day that it's done. Then we have a review, preview, current piece, and polishing piece. So all the songs that you're reviewing would be listed here. You might have a sneak preview of a new song. You would list that here. Whatever your current piece, and then your polishing piece. This side is left open and blank for parents to write notes for themselves regarding what happened during the lesson. So this is a template I like parents to use when they're pretty active in coming to lessons and being the home parent and home teacher practicing with their child. This next practice sheet, also available on the blog to download, I like to use as a transition when it's time for the student to take ownership of their own playing, and we start the process of having the parent not take the notes, but the student take the notes. And this is one of our first steps in having the parent actually start to not come to lessons after we get a good habit with filling out this sheet. So this also, as you see, has 7 days of boxes to check off. And then it just simply says name of piece, section, so you might have to write measures 39 through 40 or something like that. Technique, maybe you need to hold your bow thumb a certain way, so you write that down there. It tells you how many times, number of times to practice that. And then there's a line that says other. This is very simple for students to fill out, and then they check off each time that they do it. I hope this sheds some light on just some basic parameters of practicing. Like I said, there's a zillion variations. As many as people there are in this world, there's going to be that many variations. If you have any questions, you can always email me, and look on the blog if you are interested in consulting. So as always, happy practicing, and thank you for visiting myviolinrecital.com.